presentation. I'm not sure what this entails.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Taylor, go ahead.
So Tina got with me, was that 2 weeks ago? Just about?
Just about.
So I want to bring up every single problem that we have so we can fix it. So we avoid planning and zoning, we avoid JPAs, we avoid this. And so she has worked extremely hard, and by no means did I do anything. This was all her. She brought it up to me and asked me a couple questions of what I personally would like to see. So obviously there's some mathematical formulas and some revenue projections that were missed out that I wanted to see. Just we'll always follow the money, Mary. And so this is a minor thing, but it is something that we need to address. And so I just want to
Commissioner, could you maybe explain a little bit more about the problem? Because it is a significant problem, huge problem.
She has a great presentation, so I don't want to take that from her. So just the short gist of it is sewer tap and the properties that are tied to it and the lack of billing on the town's part to every individual business or whatever may be that is into it or tapped into it. So she put a presentation together. She has an entire spreadsheet listing out everybody who's tapped into the wastewater and has some projections and backdated. These problems, by the way, go all the way to 2018, I believe, on a couple. So I'll ask my questions that we discussed earlier later.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner and Chair. Like Commissioner Taylor says, I have done a utility billing process. I did a spreadsheet, and this is my presentation. So the purpose of this audit, the reason this was brought to us is a property at 1943, Old US 66. They purchased the property back in November of 2025. They gave us a call and said, hey, we haven't received a bill to pay our sewer. So I went into our utility system, couldn't find their name, couldn't find the address, couldn't find anything. So the former managers said, oh, well, that's a problem. So I took it upon myself to look into why we didn't have anything under that address for any type of utility billing. And it come to find out the former owners were connected to the sewer system but weren't paying any utility billing since they were connected in 2020. So I did my digging. In the town of Edgewood, we provide sewer services since the line was placed. There are 69 properties that are hooked up to the sewer system. Commercial of 53, residential's 2, non-served are 13, and inactive 2. So I am using the example of Champion Car Wash. They have been connected for 2+ years and have not paid a bill. So you have some examples on your in front of you that Dennis Engineering has done their calculations. They've done their what their monthly fee has been, all of their hookup fees, everything that is placed in front of you, and I have done a comparison of Starbucks so you guys can see what is there and what's missing. So there's 17 properties currently connected to the wastewater system are not being billed. This represents 25% of all connected properties, and I did a little mathematical. So 17 times 69 times 100 is at 25% that we're missing. So the estimated revenue impact. Average commercial wastewater billing, I did an average about $166. 16 unbilled properties, so that comes out to $33,864. Sorry, I said that backwards, getting a little tongue-tied. So that's not including the fees and percentages, increases, and connection dates from when they hooked up. So we're missing a lot extra money that is not included in that total. So the revenue lost over the years, example, so that is over $200,000. And that's not including the increased rates of each property. So I put an example, Smith's Smith's utility billing from 2020 was $340, now $400, and that's a 17.9 increase. So that way you guys had an example of what all these properties that have not been paying over the years and what we're losing in revenue. So like I said, my prime example is Champion. The $171, as you see an example on the paper, as when they started would be their payment, and what their increase would have been, and over the 2.5 years is $6,000, and that's including their 20.8 increase from 2023. So that's my little graph that I've created, and that shows the properties identified, unbilled properties, not served, and the inactive. And so that's a pretty large chunk. So my next steps is to make contact with the unbilled properties, verify connections, establish billing accounts, recover revenue percentages with verified dates of connections to present date, work with administration and legal counsel if necessary to determine appropriate recovery options. And I did work with Mike with wastewater. He'd helped me identify a lot of properties. He looked on maps to see where the sewer systems were connected, how far off, helped identify where the mapping was for all of the areas. He did help. Also, the road supervisor, he did contact Dennis Engineering to help get the spreadsheets and help with a large part of that. Mike also helped play a large part in all of this too, to help identify all these properties. So the improved internal process is going to be to develop a standardized process for tracking wastewater hookups and service activations. And I would like to ensure all properties connected to the town's wastewater system are accurately identified, properly documented, and billed appropriately, strengthening the accountability and improve the long-term financial sustainability in the water utility system. And that's the end of mine. If you have any questions, I stand for questions.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Taylor.
just thank you. That's, in my opinion, if you're going to bring up a problem, end it with a solution and the next step, so that way you guys don't sit there and go, well, what are you going to do about it? So thank you very much. And I know I've already asked the question of the ordinances or how basically how we calculate the billing per. I know the EPA is different with how they set up septics, but I'm curious to that process. And other than that, just thank you, and I'll meet with you whenever to help.